Hi, I'm Christopher Kell, and today I'm going to be bringing you my mastery journal entry for month 3 into my master's degree program for film production. This month I took script writing and analysis, and I'll just be talking about what I learned and what my goals were and how I'm going to apply everything that I learned this past month into moving forward. So with coming into this class, I really thought I was honestly going to be a little bit bored because I figured it would be the basic of script writing, which it was. And I know people in my class needed that, but because I had a bachelor's in creative writing, I honestly thought that I was going to be bored. I thought it was going to be everything that I had already learned, and that I wasn't going to get anything new out of it. Luckily, I was mistaken, because the one thing I wanted from this class was to learn the business side of writing and how to pitch stories and sell scripts and what the steps are taken to make a sell on an idea or a script, which is something that we didn't learn in the bachelor. So I'm really glad that that was my goal, and we did learn that, and I feel like I accomplished that. Granted, I need to probably research some more into it and start getting those things into motion, but as of right now, I at least understand the basics, and I know that Miss Jenny will answer any questions that I have moving forward about that. The one thing I learned about myself as a writer this month is that I have a problem with overwriting action lines in scripts. Part of this is probably because I envision it as a director, so naturally I want to put how I would direct it and all this stuff, because everything I write, I see myself directing, and I know that's not true, and I need to work on that. I really need to work on that, because it's not a good idea. Also, I feel like it's just something that's going to take time to break that habit, and I've been working on it, and I feel like this month really helped me, and it really pointed out where I overwrite and how exactly I can cut back on the unnecessary wording of certain things. And then what I learned about myself as an artist and a storyteller is that I like to tell stories that relates to me and maybe the people that I grew up around. Not so much that they relate to other people, or that they hit a subject that I think is important, but the rest of the world doesn't. And I'm saddened about that. I really am. But I feel like it's at least a good eye-opening thing for me to realize. And because because I grew up in a small town in Georgia, I don't know how the rest of the world feels about certain subjects and topics. And to me, because of how I grew up, I felt like it was important to touch on, and it's not. So that is the one thing I felt like I really learned about myself. And I feel like that will help me become a better writer moving forward. What I need to continue working on is developing out my stories more before writing them, and that goes with developing out the characters, the world, the scenarios, making characters that stand out from the plot, because I typically write characters that are reactive or characters that specifically fit into the plot, which is, that's a good thing to basically learn, I feel like. But I'm at the point where I need to learn to actually develop out my characters more. This is why I was thankful for doing the character worksheet. It got me thinking about my character, and I came up with really cool ideas, and I fell in love with the character even more because of the fact that I planned it out and I got to see him as a character, not just the story and the plot. So I feel like that will help in the long run, and I feel like that is something I'm going to continue to work on. Also continue to work on not overwriting my action lines in scripts. moving forward, because I do want to be a writer, I plan on looking at continuing to develop out the story ideas that I have, but also coming up with ideas that I could see as selling and not really wanting to be a part of. Just selling the idea. So, moving forward, I'm going to take those business aspects of what we learned in like being agents, doing pitches, that type of stuff. I'm going to move that forward and start trying to work my way to doing that. So that is how I'm going to apply the content, and I'm also going to apply everything that I learned that I needed as a writer to improve on this month moving forward. If I could go back to the beginning of the month and give myself one piece of advice, I would probably tell myself to actually, that the class isn't going to be what I thought it was going to be, and that I was actually going to get new information out of it. And that way I probably would have, at the beginning at least, enjoyed the class a little bit more, because at first that's the mindset I went into, and it's a bad mindset, but that's kind of how everyone made it out to sound like it was, that's how it was. So that would be the one piece of advice I would give myself. And then if I could go back and rewrite my filmmaking concepts and practice project, I would probably go back and touch up on the over-directing in my action lines. And I would probably flesh out the fiance and the brother, and the main character. I'd probably flesh out the 3 characters that's in the piece. Whether or not it's important for the plot, it's probably not. But just so I can understand the characters a little bit more, I would probably flesh them out. But other than that, I really wouldn't change that much other than the over-directing in the script. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully this was informative, and hopefully when I look back on this, I will be like, damn, I was a dumbass, but here we are. So, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, thank you Miss Jenny for a good class.